I am the hammer. I am the right hand of the Emperor, the instrument of his will, the gauntlet about his fist, the tip of his spear, and the edge of his sword. We carry the light of the divine Emperor of man into the dark places to purge the demonic wherever it may be found. We are the Grey Knights. What is up, guys? It is your host, the Sound Alchemist, and welcome back to One Mind Syndicate, where we give you guys Warhammer 40K videos each and every day. Today we're going to dive into the rare and deadly demon hunting weapons wielded by the 666th chapter of Space Marines, the Grey Knights. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So we all know the infamous weapons of the Space Marines, the bolter and chainsword. However, when it comes to the Knights of Titan, they don't just purge the same enemies that regular Marines do. They specialize in smiting the demons of chaos, and as such, they have special weapons and war gear to get the job done. They are the Emperor's last gift to humanity, and as such, they have ancient pacts with the Adeptus Mechanicus, which grants them access to some of the most technologically advanced weaponry, war gear, and much more. Today we will be focusing on the famed Nemesis Force weapons, the weapons used in close combat melee by the Grey Knights. Each one of these weapons is specifically attuned to its wielder's mind, allowing his psychic might to channel freely and empower the weapon. For the most part, as I said earlier, these weapons are strictly intended for melee use, such as they are often seen as being swords, halberds, or hammers. To further slay the demonic, these weapons are anointed with sacred oils, as well as they are inscribed with religious scripts. But its true strength comes from the warrior wielding it. As I stated before, these Nemesis Force weapons are psychically attuned to the wielder, and the stronger the knight is psychically, the stronger the weapon will become. The Grey Knights are some of the strongest psychers throughout the galaxy, and as such, even a single cut with their Nemesis Force weapon can cause the enemy to blow apart from the inside out as psychic energies rip asunder the enemy's body. The most common of these weapons is the Nemesis Force sword. Legend states that it boasts nearly indestructible construction, which is great for parrying the blows from massive chaos demons. Overall, it is perfectly balanced, as all things should be, making it a great, well-rounded weapon to use, especially in 8th edition. The sword is really great for the most part, but it's easily outclassed by other Nemesis Force weapons. However, its -3 AP and D3 damage isn't anything to scoff at. The Nemesis Force halberd is of ancient design, and originally it mimicked that of the weapon wielded by the Custodes. At one time it had a storm bolter attached to it, but currently it is just a halberd. This expertly crafted weapon gave the Grey Knights some reach in that its pole arm could allow him to deal damage to the demonic hordes before they can get to the Grey Knight, and this was used instrumentally during that of 7th edition and a little bit into 8th because it gave you a +1 to your strength, and strength 5 hitting against toughness 4s is better than hitting at strength 4 against toughness 4. Trust me, it's math. So in 8th edition games, for the most part, you can't go wrong with halberds, but there is yet another force weapon that you should definitely be equipping your warriors with, and that is the next weapon, the Nemesis Force falchions. In my opinion, this is definitely what you want to equip your strike squads with, because you can deep strike them in, shoot up to like 40 shots with your storm bolters, and then charge up whatever remains, and I'm pretty sure with just the crazy amount of shooting and crazy amount of attacks coming in, Even a horde of orc boys will fall to the overwhelming amount of firepower coming from your Knights of Titan. However, when it comes down to killing the greater demons, sometimes overwhelming them with multiple attacks can't quite cut it. So that's when your Grey Knights have to be equipped with the infamous Nemesis Demon Hammer. This weapon combines the crushing power of a thunder hammer with the wrathful warp energies, each dealing massive amounts of damage to the enemy. In 8th edition, this was definitely what you'd want to equip to perhaps your Paladin Bomb. A 10-man group of Paladins, each with hammers, maybe a few, what's it called? The Nemesis warding stave just for survivability, but for the most part, anything you point your Paladins at will be utterly crushed and demolished. Whether it's a Land Raider, a Dread Knight, a Greater Demon of Nurgle, these hammers do work. Hitting at strength 8, dealing a straight 3 damage, it is definitely going to ruin anybody's day when you go up against the infamous Hammers of Titan. All these weapons are great when you're trying to focus on just a combat-heavy army. However, as I said before, there is a weapon that you can give your Grey Knights if you want more survivability, and that is none other than the Nemesis Warding Stave. This weapon is for the most part all about defense, only giving you a +2 to your strength at -1 AP and D3 damage. So clearly it's not as powerful as other Nemesis weapons, but when you wield it, it is going to give you a +1 to your invulnerable save when you're in close combat. So if you can pair this up with Sanctuary, you have the potential to have a 2-up, 3-up Paladin that is just tanking blows. There's stratagems you can do that any damage the Terminators take is reduced to only 1 damage, I believe, or it's reduced by 1 damage. Still, this is really great for survivability. Plop them down in a objective, or if you can't get into the charge after you deep strike, then this is probably what you gotta do to make them survive. And on top of that, with the Tide of Shadows, that's just gonna add more survivability to your precious Grey Knights. And the more Grey Knights that are left alive, the more Grey Knights that are left to charge in and take out your opponent. And yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with Nemesis demon weapons that can turn the tide of battle. And that's all I'm going to talk about today. The Grey Knights have an interesting kit available to them. They can just pour an insane amount of bolter shots. They can decimate pretty much any squad in close combat. However, they're elites. You're not going to have very many of them on the field, and because of that, you really need to pick your targets correctly, or your army is just going to crumble. Let me know which one of these melee-focused weapons is your favorite. If you were a Grey Knight, which weapon would you wield? For me, it's a toss-up between dual-wielding falchions or the halberd, but I think I'm gonna go with the falchions just because you're freaking dual-wielding swords made of freaking psychic might. It just sounds cool. I mean, a freaking polearm is great too, but I gotta go with the dual wield. Now, sit tight, guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because tomorrow, or the day after that, I will be bringing you the ranged weapons of the Grey Knights, such as the Psy Cannon, the Incinerator, the Silencer. And after that, we're going to be covering the weapons for everybody's favorite baby carrier, the Dread Knight. So again, guys, stay subscribed for more awesome things. And as always, I'm the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll be catching you guys in the next video. Peace.